100. There's our pole sitter, car number 20, Randall LaJoy, having a little bit of a problem. Now, we've had rain in the area, problems with the weather all day long. The race was delayed a short while ago. It was got underway about 15 minutes ago. So for those of you just joining us, there's the leader. Looking out the back window of Mark Martin, picking up where he left off a year ago. He won this race last September, also won the spring race here at Darlington. He is right now showing the way, and the second place car is the car number 92 of Larry Pearson. We have Kyle Petty, Michael Waltrip, John Kernan, Benny Parsons, Ned Jarrett, and yours truly, Jerry Punch, bringing you this live racing action from the track they say is too tough to tame. And guys, they're mixing it up everywhere.
They really are. That was Kenny Wallace in the car number 8, who won at Bristol last weekend, just taking over the 8th position from Mike McLaughlin. And Steve Grissom in car number 31 coming right along with him up through there. Yes, they are mixing it up.
And we can see that it's still raining just a little bit of a miss as Derek Cope tries to get by McLaughlin in the fiddle faddle car, and there he goes. And he's bringing Harry Gant with him, so McLaughlin, who started 4th, is falling back about 10th.
Harry Gant, a 4-time winner here at Darlington. He's one of 11 different winners in Busch Series competition. There were 5 former winners started today's race.
Gant started back in the 18th position, but has now moved up into 12th and making 11th.
Derek Cope going by Steve Grissom into 9th, and here comes Harry Gant trying to go into 10th, and he does it. That's Gant in the greens, number 7, Derek Cope in the gold and white, 82, and the blue car, 31, is Steve Grissom.
Today's race, 147 laps as Gant tries to make a move inside of Derek Cope. It says 147 laps or 200 miles, the Gatorade 200. So you see there's 122 laps to go. We haven't missed much racing if you've just recently joined us. Taking a look out of the Sports World Ford Thunderbird car of Derek Cope. Ron Zook on machine. Sports World is out of Melbourne, Florida.
See, they cleaned the lens on the camera. This camera is mounted on top of Derek Cope's car. We cleaned the lens. There goes Harry again by Joe Nemechek. Takes a spot away from Joe. The blue and white car is Joe Nemechek. There he is, and that's Derek Cope on the inside.
And Nemechek is one of those drivers running Hoosier tires here today. The majority of the field did have Goodyear tires on. A lot of racing going on here. You see Terry Labonte back there. Terry started in 24th position, and he now has moved up to the 12th position. Dale Jarrett started 23rd, and he has moved up to 11th. So he has the Shoe World Chevrolet on the move as he goes by Mike McLaughlin, who started, or tries to go by him, who started in the 4th position.
Dale Jarrett, also a former winner 2 times here. Terry Labonte now moves down the inside of Dale Jarrett, the MW Window Chevy. He's just re-signed. And here is Tommy Houston, having problems for the 2nd week in a row, the Red Devil Enamels Ford Thunderbird.
There's some confusion. One guy took the jack across like they were going to change tires. Now they're jacking up the left side of the car like it's not a tire problem. They've got some other kind of problems.
Scott Houston, the crew chief on that car. Tommy making his 371st Busch Series start. Been there for all 13 years. And here's our leader. Car number 60, Mark Martin. Let's check in with John Kernan.
Well, Jerry, we talked about the dominance of Mark Martin. This is actually a different car than the one they won the race with back in the spring. The guys in the shop, Bobby Leslie and the crew, built a brand new car. This is the very first race. It was tight in qualifying yesterday. Guess what? Right now, the car has developed a push. So Mark has asked them on their first pit stop between laps 45 and 50 to take 3 rounds of bite out of the car.
This racetrack is very abrasive. They were going to repave this racetrack, as I said, back in June, and it's very abrasive, and it wears tires quickly, so I don't know if Mark Martin can make it 40, 50 laps. There's our field summary.
Let's check in with Kyle Petty. Kyle?
Well, the racetrack lays here all year long with a lot of sand on it and stuff. And when we come down here to run, you begin to put rubber on the racetrack. The racetrack begins to get better and better. But even with the Winston Cup cars, the last 2 or 3 races that we've run down here, you can usually go 60 to 65 laps on a tank of gas and a set of tires. They're short pitting at 35 and 40 laps. So I'll be real surprised if a lot of people in the Busch race even don't try to short pit and try to make up some ground, guys.
And Tommy Jerry Houston in the pits in the backstretch, and Michael Waltrip is there. Michael?
Pitted with a left front tire that was worn completely out. The car just quit sticking to the racetrack. Y'all alluded earlier that only 6 cars elected to go on Hoosier tires. One car that usually runs Hoosiers every week is Harry Gant. He's on Goodyear's in the Busch Grand National car today, and that looked like to be the right decision. The Hoosiers just aren't holding up right now.
Indeed, they aren't, as the caution flag is waved to the field. Ned, you mentioned the fact that 36 of the 42 cars started on Goodyear tires, just 6 on Hoosiers, and right now the only Hoosier car in the top 10 is Joe Nemechek, and he is in 10th position. And that's going to be a cause for concern, particularly for some of the guys riding tomorrow, because it's the same Hoosier tire today that they're going to use in the Winston Cup event on Sunday.
The same tire they're going to use on the heavier cars. Wow.
Yeah, heavier cars, 300 by 300 pounds, and also more horsepower. Boy, that does grind that rubber off.
And 3 of the top 4 qualifiers for that Mountain Dew Southern 500 are on Hoosiers: Jeff Bodine, Warren Burton, and Joe Nemechek. So they've got to be watching with some degree of anxiety, watching what's happening to some of these cars early on here as the tires begin to drop off.
And evidently there's some debris on the racetrack that NASCAR spotted. They want to send the people out to pick that up. That's why the caution flag is out. And I think I see it laying on the front straightaway down there. There's the 60 car, the Winn-Dixie crew. Are they going to pit? What do you think, Ned? They probably will, don't you think?
Yeah, I think they will. They've gone 32. They're working 33rd lap, and yes, they are coming into the pits. And let's go to the pits and John Kernan.
Well, yes, the plan is to come in and pit, take advantage of this caution. As Kyle said, you can wear the tires out here. We're 33 laps completed. Why not come in and pit? Everybody down here said they hope to be able to go 45. This will be a good check on the tires, and they get to do it under caution. Mark Martin pulls in. The crew will go to work. Steve Neal will make the adjustment in the left rear to loosen the car up. Now, it should be a 4-tire change as everybody comes down pit road. It looks like Randy LaJoy fitting just in front of Mark Martin. The right side tires already on. Ricky Craven, Hermie Sadler also on pit road. Let's go down to Kyle Petty.
Dennis Setzer stopped. They're changing the right front tire, the right rear tire. They're not making any chassis adjustments on this car. They're coming around now. They're going to change the left side tires. It's just like I said before. These tires really wear out quick. They could probably go 40 or 45 laps under green, but under caution, they see no reason to keep going. Michael, let's go to...
Darren Coates just stopped in his pit, taking on 4 tires on his car, as are most of the other teams located over here on the backstretch. Benny, I don't think a guy can win this race from the backstretch. On the Winston Cup race on Sunday, when you got 500 miles, a lot of cars go a lap down. It makes it less of a disadvantage to be over here. But today, in 200 miles, there'll be 15, 20 cars on the lead lap. There just ain't no way.
Michael, a couple of years ago, I believe you ran second. I'm not sure, but Dale Jarrett won from starting in 28th position, pitting on the backstretch.
Well, I'm just a commentator. I'm not an expert commentator.
Folks, if you just joined us, you're hearing from 2 veteran Winston Cup campaigners that are still active in the sport. Michael Waltrip down there, and of course Kyle Petty along with John Kernan, and 2 retired legends of the sport, Penny Parsons and Ned Jarrett here in the booth, along with me, Jerry Punch. Under caution for the first time today here at Darlington Raceway. Back with more exciting Busch Series action after this.
I want this motorcycle. I gotta have this motorcycle. My life is nothing without this motorcycle.
Suzuki's can't beat the deal day. Get 0 down and 9.9% financing on a Katana 750, Intruder 800, or RF 900R. Can't beat the deal days from Suzuki.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. The time has finally come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. Now you control the flow of paint, so the Wagner power roller can cut jobs in half. Smoothly and evenly, it can cover areas twice as fast. And cleanup is a snap, so you can finish one job and do another. Get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
Cowboy, still a modern-day hero, standing up for what's right as he rides across this land. He still earns every dollar to pass through his hands. So here's to the cowboy as he heads for the mountains. No place he'd rather be than right here. Come on along and head for the mountains of Busch.
When traffic congestion changes, the threats to your car's engine change. That's why Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. So whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Buy a case of Quaker State motor oil and receive an 8-ounce Armor All Protectant free. Details for this mail-in offer at participating stores.
We welcome you back to our live coverage of the Gatorade 200 from the famed Darlington Raceway in South Carolina. In the early laps, under caution for the first time today, we're going to take you and give you a chance to look at our pit personalities. First, here's John Kernan. John?
Jerry, I don't know if it's a good idea to let them look at me, but I've been looking at the tires that came off of Mark Martin's car. The right rear, only about 10% worn is what the Goodyear engineers tell me. And we told you that Mark's car had developed a push. He was running tight. Well, that shows up in the right front. The right front tire was worn about 25%, but they made a chassis adjustment. Mark Martin may be even tougher to catch the remainder of this race. Kyle Petty?
Well, I'm standing here in Phil Parsons' pit. He's one of the cars that started on Hoosier tires. I looked at some of the Goodyears. Like John said, the Goodyears look great. The left side tires on Phil Parsons' cars, as you can see right here maybe, they've worn all the way down into the cord. This is the left front tire off of Phil Parsons' cars. I'm not sure you can make a chassis adjustment for this kind of stuff, guys, because these tires are just absolutely wearing out in 30 laps. Michael?
On the backstretch, we've seen some good cars fall out. Dale Earnhardt earlier. Tommy Houston had some problems with an unscheduled stop. Dale Jarrett, on that exchange of pit stops here under the caution, moved up to third position. He must have just took on 2 tires. We'll go check on that now.
Well, thank you, gentlemen. These beautiful shots from high above the racetrack here in Darlington being brought to you by the courtesy of the folks from Steel, makers of a full line of outdoor power equipment. Powerful, easy to use, and durable. There's our pit summary. In and out. Mark Martin not having a bad day at all. Came in first, came out first. Larry Pearson lost a spot on that pit stop. Chad Little gained a spot. Elton Sawyer lost 3 spots. And Johnny Benson stayed put. Back to green flag racing here in Darlington, South Carolina. Glad to have you with us.
Turn 4 at Darlington. Stevie Reeves, the white car on the outside out of Indianapolis, the Clever Girl baking powder car. Michael Walter, what about Dale Jarrett? How many tires did he change on his pit stop?
He took on 4, Benny. They took him on 4 in record time. It's just the best stop they ever had. NASCAR also assisted Dale in the fact that he moved from mid-pack to third under that pit stop. They speed the pace car up now after it drops off the front stretch cars. It gets around to the back stretch in a little bit quicker time so that these guys will have a fair shake at coming in and making a pit stop and not losing all that ground. I think it's possible to win this race from the back stretch. We'll see what happens.
Boy, I like a man who sticks to his word. I tell you what, Michael Walter. Now, he mentioned Dale Jarrett got some of an advantage on that pit stop. But car number 44, David Green, that's our point leader, the Slim Jim Chevrolet. He got a big lead.
Boy, this thing was a huge break for him. He's now at the 17th spot, and he was back about 35th spot. Remember, he had to stop on the very first lap of the race and change his spark plug. Not the first lap of the race, but on the parade lap. He had to start at the very rear of the field. Start 40th spot, and he's up to 17th. So he's made a huge gain on that pit stop. And that's how you win championships, by just doing that. This car, the 44 car, is owned by Bobby Labonte.
Bobby's not racing today. Excuse me, Bobby not racing today. He is basically orchestrating that operation from the pits. That's David right in front of Phil Parsons in car number 29.
That is 17th and 18th position.
Back up front, we got Mark Martin and Chad Little racing for the lead. There's Dale Jarrett in 32 car and Larry Pearson. Pretty good battle for the lead.
So far, they haven't separated too much since the green flag fell. The adjustment they made on the car number 60 of Mark Martin. We'll see how it that plays out as time goes by. Let's go to the pits and John Kernan.
Well, Michael was talking about Dale Jarrett and the great pit stop that they had. Chad Little was running in the top 10. He was back around 6th or 7th. They moved up about 4 or 5 spots, also with a 4-tire change. Now, this car that Chad is driving today is the same one that he finished second with at Michigan a couple of weeks ago. He came in here feeling very confident that he could pull off his first victory right here at Darlington.
And if you remember what happened in Michigan on ESPN, he led that race with 3 laps to go when Bobby Labonte was able to pass him and take the victory. Chad finishing second, equaling his best career finish of a second at Dover back a year ago.
Well, he's hanging right with Mark Martin there now. In fact, he might have gained just a little bit the last lap or so, but he's staying right in contention. Don't know if his mother stays. She came from Washington last week to watch him run at Bristol. Had sort of a tough night over there. First time he hadn't finished in the top 10 in quite a while, so maybe she stayed over and watching him run here today. If so, she's seeing him have a great run.
She's a proud mama right now. She's here. Welcome.
One car that's been on the move is this car number 9 of Mike Wallace, the STP Brakes Chevrolet. 3-time winner already this year in Busch Series competition. There's Mike Wallace looking from high above Darlington Raceway. Started 17th, currently in 7th spot. Making his way to the front, slowly but surely. That is Randy LaJoy, our pole sitter, right behind him. Good battle right in front of him. Johnny Benson and one of the rookie drivers, and Mike McLaughlin. Mike Magic Juice McLaughlin. Boy, what an up and down year he has had.
He really has. He's ran so well in a few races and missed a couple of races this year.
And he had a great pit stop, too, because he had dropped back to about 12th to 14th position, and now is up there in 5th position. Car number 34 we're talking about.
Mike had finished 3rd at Indianapolis Raceway Park and 4th at Michigan. Good battle here. Derek Cope in the car number 82. Behind him, Phil Parsons. Ed Barriers have made some pretty good moves here to try to work his way toward the front.
That's Jason Keller in the 57 car, right behind Phil. And the 22 car, a Barrier behind Jason Keller.
Ed Barrier finished 7th here a year ago in the Gatorade 200. He's driving the car number 22.
Ed Barrier's a young man that Mike Wallace gave all the credit to winning the race at Indianapolis here on ESPN. He set the car up for Mike, and Mike came over from the big racetrack, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, to IRP and won the race. And give a lot of credit to Ed Barrier.
100 laps remain here in the Gatorade 200. This 200-mile event, 147 laps at Darlington Raceway.
You can see that Derek Cope was pulled away from Phil just a little bit. That's Phil Parsons in the 29 car.
Dale Earnhardt and Rodney Combs both having problems early on. Combs an engine problem, and as did Earnhardt. You heard Michael Walton talk to him a moment ago. Side by side off the second turn. Keller makes a move inside of Phil Parsons. We'll see if Ed Barrier. No, Phil will slam the door, which is part of racing.
That's part of racing. Phil driving the Matchbox Collectibles car.
And the man they're chasing is Mark Martin, Winn-Dixie Ford Thunderbird, winner of the last 2 Busch Series events at this racetrack, including the defending winner of the Gatorade 200.
And where is he? There he is, coming off turn 4. The black car coming right straight into your picture.
So Mark Martin continues to lead. Chad Little just a couple of car lengths back. We'll be back with more exciting Busch Series competition from Darlington after this.
It is time for the big question. What is the extra in Mickey D's Extra Value Meal? Now, some think it's a money thing. $2.99 to be exact. Then there are the brothers and sisters into variety. See, you can get 4 $2.99 extra value meals, like Big Mac, cheeseburger, quarter pounder with cheese, and McChicken. And for a large portion of folks, it's the large portion of those world-famous golden fries. But for me,
what you want, what you want, what you want is what you get at McDonald's today.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know my crew spends hundreds of hours building those 5,000 horsepower motors. I can explode one in 5 seconds. And when that happens, nobody eats. That's why my guys won't run anything but Fram fillers. You know, Fram gets the nasty stuff out of the oil, so I can go to the other end with my candles lit. And you know, that's in about 5 seconds, nearly 300 miles an hour. You can look at these guys and see they eat pretty near every day.
My ultimate ESPN Sports Center highlight goes like this. Loose ball in the end zone. Ball on it, no chance. My feet are light, and I've got the moves. At the 50, I see Myers. Not now, Chris. I'm a busy man. And as I cross the goal line, I laugh, knowing my agent has just cut a deal for my very own fitness video. Yeah, that's my Sports Center highlight.
Back in Darlington, South Carolina, we'll show you where your favorite driver is running after 53 laps. Of course, Mark Martin is our leader. Join the top 15. Joe Nemechek in 14th. Morgan Shepherd infrequently runs the Busch Series now and is in 15th spot.
Still 27 cars are in the lead lap. 28 being shown there.
And you see the cars that have dropped out. Jim Bound taking the Lux-sponsored car back behind the wall. Mike Garvey, one of our in-car camera cars. Universe Uniforms machine, he is out. There is Mark Martin.
In traffic a couple laps ago, Jerry was able to pull away a little bit from Chad Little, which allowed Dale Jarrett to move right up on the back bumper of Chad Little, and as Randy LaJoy got a problem.
Yes, he did. The thing blew up going down the front straightaway, and the pole sitter is coasting towards the garage area. Man, tough break for LaJoy.
33-year-old Norwalk, Connecticut driver picking up his first ever pole in Busch competition in his 59th career start. He coasts toward the garage area. Let's check in with Kyle. Kyle?
Well, I'm standing down here almost coming off turn 4, and when he got on the gas coming off turn 4, it fluttered real bad, but then it picked back up and took off, and then it fluttered again. So it's really hard to tell from standing here and not talking to anybody yet whether it's the carburetor, whether the rotor button's broke, or whether it's something in the ignition. I think they'll come in and try to get it going again, guys.
And here's a good battle for second spot, heating up the Harris Teeter car of Chad Little, and right behind him, Shoe World sponsorship on the side of Dale Jarrett Chevrolet.
And Larry Pearson, the Stanley Tools star, has joined that race. So you're right, it's a great race for that second, third, and fourth right there, all chasing Mark Martin, but he's a little bit out of the picture right now.
Yeah, he was pulled away from them by, 20 or so car lengths, and not too far behind these cars is the Mike McLaughlin car and Johnny Benson Jr. Let's go to the pits and John Kernan.
Well, Randy LaJoy is pulled into the pits. Dennis Conner and the crew going to work. What Randy thinks it might be is a carburetor problem. But they are set to change the distributor cap, the rotor button. They just don't know what it is. Right now they're searching. They're taking off the air cleaner. Now they're looking around. And I'm telling you what, it doesn't look good for the pole sitter as he's losing laps here on pit road.
There's Mark Martin, our leader. And our second place battle, there it comes to your screen right there. Car number 23, car number 32, and 92.
Bunch of twos. 23, 32, 92. And it looks like these cars are evenly matched. That's about the same spread we saw the last lap when they came off turn 2.
Not a great deal of difference in them.
Let's check in once again with John Curry.
Well, the engine is refired on Randy LaJoy's car. The problem that they found out, the ignition had gone bad, so they switched over to another ignition box, and LaJoy is back onto the racetrack.
He was being shown in 15th spot in the point standings coming into the day's start.
Well, Jerry, he has gone 3 laps down, and the leaders just went by, so that'll put him 4 laps down. Being shown now in 31st position.
Take a look at our interval back to 5th position, 2.3 seconds back to Mike McLaughlin. Good run for the young man, former Modified Series champion.
McLaughlin has Johnny Benson Jr. right on his bumper. In fact, Benson tried to pass him a lap or so ago. We see the red nose of McLaughlin's car come into the picture there, coming off the 4.
The red cars. There's our second place car.
Yeah,
Third place.
Chad Little has moved away a little bit from Dale Jarrett now and has picked up a little bit on Mark Martin the last few laps.
great aerial shot of the cars. This is turn 3 here at Darlington. This is the big end. This racetrack is shaped kind of like an egg. And this is the big end, 3 and 4. There comes Mark Martin, our leader. And he will go down to turns 1 and 2. That's the small end of the egg.
And here's Phil Parsons, car number 29, who had a great qualifying effort. In fact, he qualified third. The man that won back in May at Charlotte, the Matchbox White Rose Oldsmobile. And Benny, he's been struggling a little bit.
He has been struggling. Kyle Petty showed us the left front tire off his car. It was worn out. I'm sure that the crew has radioed that. Phil knows that he's wearing the tires out right now. He just wants to survive to the end of the race and then see what happens.
It's got to be a helpless feeling when you know the tires have gone away so quickly. I mean, what do? You just have to sit and ride.
That's all you can do.
All you can do. Phil has dropped back to 24th position. He is still in the lead lap. He'll have to drop to 25th here. And there are 25 cars in the lead lap, and he's going to be the last one if the 55 car, Tim Fedewa, gets by.
Michael Waltrip has caught up with another driver who's had a short afternoon. Mike?
A lot of attrition today here, guys. Tracy Leslie, Detroit Gaston Chevrolet. Tracy, what happened?
Well, I don't know. You know, we were running awful good. I thought we had a car capable of running up front all day, and we broke a camshaft or something in the motor. It's a shame. You know, we've had some bad luck all year, and I was hoping to turn it around here. We had a good, strong qualifying run, and I thought we were capable of running up there front with Mark, and moved up pretty quick, and thought we had a good day going. It ended awful quick, though.
It's a shame.
Indeed, Tracy Leslie had 2 pretty good runs and a good battle here, Dan.
Yes, for third place, Larry Pearson gets on the inside of Dale Jarrett and takes the third position away as they went into turn 3. Jarrett knew he was down there. His spotter told him, said, you better not go in there side by side. Speed you're running here, so he backed off and let Larry go. Larry has been running good all during this race. See Roy back up to third.
Now we see Chad Little going by Phil Parsons, so Phil has won a lap down in the, as I said, the Matchbox collectible car. Inside Chad Little's car, there he goes, at Ford Thunderbird.
And here's the car number 44, David Green, in the points battle. Now that's Green, the points leader on the right of your screen. The man on the left of your screen, Ricky Craven, is currently tied for second in the points.
This is 14th and 15th. Craven in the car number 2, the Pont Chevrolet, has the 14th position. David Green in the Slim Jim Chevrolet has 15th. He wants 14th. He looked on the inside, but now's not the time to come. And here's Phil Parsons. He ran those tires as long as he could, so he's in the pit. Green flag pit stop in the White Rose Collectibles car is going to cost him. Kyle?
Well, they're changing the right side tires on the car and cleaning the windshield. They still have yet to make a chassis adjustment on this car. Like we showed you before when we were talking about the Goodyear tires and talking about the Hoosier tires, I think they did radio Phil and tell him, say, hey, these left side tires are coming off these cars left and right. We're having problems with them. Just take it easy. Phil waited till he got lapped so he wouldn't lose more time trying to catch a caution. Now he's back out and going, guys.
That's Larry LeMay and the crew changing right side tires on that Matchbox Oldsmobile, and Phil comes back down pit. But we might mention the car number 44 did make the pass on Craven, and here's another battle heating up.
Johnny Benson Jr. just passed Mike McLaughlin on the outside, Mike McLaughlin coming off of turn 2. Now they run up on Dale Jarrett. The handle seems to be going away on Jarrett Chevrolet. And Johnny Benson is moving right on up through there. Let's go to the back pits and Michael Waltrip.
You said the handle was going away on Dale's car. John, what's the problem?
Well, the Pick and Pay Chevrolet been running pretty good, Michael. But this green racetrack is eating the left front tire up. Now the front wants to slide a little bit. I hope we get more rubber in this racetrack here later on where the tire wear get a little better. Right now it's pretty critical.
What about the pit stop those guys put on that car? It's a great stop.
Well, I didn't quite understand you, but we plan to stop about another around 100 laps.
There you have it.
That's John Irvin, the ageless one. They call him John Methuselah Irvin. The guy never gets any older. He was around when Ned was a youngster and helped your career along. Now he's there with Dale.
Yep, sure did. John was my crew chief for a number of years. Here's a good battle. Well, there's action all over the racetrack.
And Mike Wallace was running so good on another car that's losing the handle. He's drifting back. And there's Elton Sawyer goes by. And there's 59, Dennis Setzer and Kenny Wallace in the flag number 8. All these fellows have called Mike Wallace.
He's currently in 9th position. That's Mike Wallace, car number 9 and 9th. We are told that Joe Nemechek is on pit road, and he was another one of the drivers that started on the Hoosier tires. They have changed right side tires, now go to the left side of that car. Dennis Setzer, rookie, makes a pretty brave move at Darlington, Benny.
Well, that's why he's a rookie, see?
He didn't know any better.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't know any better.
He did. Great move.
Well, that move gathered him a couple of spots on the grid. In fact, puts him up in the 9th position right now. But the man they're chasing still up front, car number 60, Mark Martin, here at Darlington Raceway. Back with more exciting Busch Series action after this.
M. Keston Apparel for Men announces our moving sale with savings up to 70%. After 15 years in the same location, we're moving just down the street, but we must liquidate a large portion of our inventory prior to the move. Substantial savings on suits, sport coats, slacks, shorts, knit shirts, ties, shoes, and much, much more. These exceptional savings won't last long, so stop in today during our moving sale at M. Keston Apparel for Men, Manatee Avenue West at 55th Street, Palmasola Square.
With a fiery horse and a hearty hi-ho king, it's the Lone Ranger.
Hey, what is this, a holdup? Of course not. There's never a holdup at Used Car King. You know, even people with no credit get a straight shooting deal. Used Car King is the place to come, and I'm here to back up those deals.
Hi-ho, King, away! Stay tuned for the continuing episodes of the Lone Ranger, brought to you by the Used Car King.
Dale Earnhardt takes the checkered flag.
You know, I've won the NASCAR championship 6 times. I built my life around the automobile, and I know when I see a winning combination. So when NASCAR introduced NASCAR AutoVantage, I knew it was a real winner.
Now you can join NASCAR AutoVantage too. Save hundreds of dollars at over 16,000 service centers nationwide with members-only discounts on tune-ups, oil changes, new tires, and just about everything for every car you own. And when emergencies happen to you or any member of your family, just call a Russia tow truck to the rescue 24 hours a day. Join Dale with an introductory NASCAR AutoVantage membership for 3 months for just $1. And you're entitled to get this official NASCAR t-shirt plus our exciting NASCAR race video absolutely free just for trying NASCAR AutoVantage. Call 1-800-95-NASCAR to get your free gift with your $1 introductory membership. That $1 can be charged to your MasterCard or Visa. So have one ready when you call 1-800-95-NASCAR.
Back at Darlington Raceway, they are given the halfway signal this time by. You're looking out the rear window from our lead car, Mark Martin. And the car you see coming right behind him, Benny, that's Mike Wallace.
And he just made a pit stop a moment ago. It's Hermie Sadler, who's tied for second in the points, goes a lap down. Mike Wallace, watch that. Uh-oh, we cut away from it. But Mike Wallace, with those new tires, just is flying out there. We can see that how much of an advantage the new tires would be.
Yeah, Joe Newman,
there he is,
passing the leader. Now, Mike Wallace, let's see, he lost 2 laps. He lost 2 laps, so now he is only 1 lap down. 1 in the distance, of course.
And we can see how he pulled away from Mark Martin that much, and Mark is leading the race. But new tires is worth about 2 seconds a lap around him. Look at how much in almost a lap has pulled away that much.
Okay, now our leader is the car number 60, Mark Martin. Second place, there comes Chad Little, the car number 23, the Harris Teeter car. A car owned by Mark Rippon and Greg Pollard. Rippon, of course, the Cleveland Browns quarterback. And take a look at the 74 car. Johnny Benson started back in 12th spot. He's a rookie driver as well. We talked about Dennis Setzer being a rookie, but a great job by the Staff America driver, Johnny Benson.
Hermie Sadler, Virginia is for Lovers car in the pits. Comes to stop, and John Kernan is there.
Well, Benny, we just saw that he had lost a lap. They'll go around the right side. We anticipate a 4-tire change, which would probably put him down a couple of laps if Bobby King and the crew can't get the job done fast enough. But no, they will go with right side tires only. Hermie Sadler going with a 2-tire change. He's back down and away.
Wow. Interesting to see how that works out. Now, it'll run good for several laps, but he's going to put a lot of strain on those right side tires, which makes them heat up and wear out that much quicker. But I guess he didn't want to lose any more time, but once you come into the pits, you really need to take on 4 tires, in my opinion.
There we see Dale Jarrett is still drifting back. Elton Sawyer, the white 38, and Kenny Wallace, the black number 8, is called Dale Jarrett. There goes Elton Sawyer underneath him.
6th, 7th, and 8th we're seeing right here. And the train goes by. Jarrett's car really pushing up. John Urban said that the left front tire had worn out, so the car's not turning for him in the corner.
And And here's the battle of car number 14 is Terry Labonte, the white car. You see the MW Windows sponsorship there. Right behind Dennis Etcher. They all move to the inside of Dale Jarrett off of turn 2. And right behind Labonte is the Slim Jim car, number 44 of David Green.
There we see Jason Keller in the 57 going by Harry Gant. Harry Gant in the green number 7. The Budget Gourmet and the Mannheim Auto Auction. And here comes Harry Gant's coming in the pit.
I expect he's coming in for some tires. Harry was drifting back a little bit himself in the Mannheim Auto Auction car as he heads down pit road, and Hermie Sadler is coming back into the pit. And Kyle Petty is up in the Harry Gant area. Kyle?
But here in Harry's pit, they were holding up 2 fingers like they're just going to change 2 tires. We've seen it happen one other time on Hermie's car, but he came right back in. Harry makes the chassis adjustment. They change the right side tires. They're having a little bit of trouble with the right front tires, clean the grill. Harry's going to be back out. Michael.
Dale Jarrett has just pulled the Shoe World Chevy into his pit, sliding on the wet asphalt, as you can see there. This pit crew put an awesome stop on the car earlier. Now is when the fast pit stops really come in handy. When you can cut down those precious seconds, when the other cars are at speed on the racetrack, it sure does help a lot. And John Irvin, the boys, look to be having a real good stop here.
Now, we won't see those 17, 18, 19-second pit stops here. As you see, they couldn't take the left side lug loose. Same man that changed the right side tires has to come around and take the lugs off and put them back on the left side as well.
Car number 20 just exiting the pit. John Kerner, what was the problem with Randy LaJoy?
Well, he cut down a right front tire. At least he had a leak. We can see where there was a puncture on the tire, so he had the tire going down, air seeping out, so Randy LaJoy had to come in and pit. Now, the reason Hermie Sadler pitted again, he had a flat left rear tire.
A flat left rear. They only changed 2 tires, did not change the left one, and the left rear is flat. Go figure. There's a race for 6th spot. Elton Sawyer in the white 3086. Kenny Wallace is 7th.
That's 6th and 7th right there. You heard Vinnie Parsons say. They're still chasing Mark Martin. 65 laps to go.
Randy LaJoy several laps down in the Phenoloup car.
Take a look at our AutoZone race summary here at Darlington Raceway as Kenny Wallace now slows a little bit. Our leader is Mark Martin, has led 72 of 80 laps. There have been 3 different leaders, 3 lead changes, 1 caution flag for 5 laps. The average speed, 138 and change. Lap leaders, Mark Martin led 72 laps, Randy LaJoy 7, and Greg Clark, young man making only his 2nd push start from New York, has led a lap under caution. There are the drivers out of the race: Combs, Earnhardt, Mike Garvey, Jim Bound, Roy Payne, and Doug Hebron.
Now we got to go, man. They get together down the back straightaway.
Kenny Wallace tried to make a pass on the Elton Sawyer, and he got up there and his car just simply wouldn't stick. And here is the Terry Labonte. He comes up there, Phil Parsons, with those fresh tires on. He'll come right on around those cars with no problem.
And David Green is trying to get by Bobby Labonte's car as well. Michael Walker has an update on some of the cars. Michael?
Well, Ned, you talked earlier, Benny, about the fact that you take on 4 under caution and 2. A good visual to that, if you look at Harry Gant, he got 2 tires and Jarrett got 4. They went in the pit, they're running about together. Harry just has a very little lead over Jarrett, and over the next 10-15 laps, he'll ease him up. Also over here, a few laps ago, 1993 Busch Grand National Champion Steve Grissom brought his car to the pit, retired.
There we see where David Green has been able to get by Labonte. David Green in the red number 44, and Terry Labonte in the white 14. I'll spit it out sooner or later.
That's for 9th and 10th position here.
Right now, there are 14 cars that are on the lead lap.
And we're on a record pace here thus far early in this race. We are past the half, I should say early, we're past the halfway point. I picked up Bob Dickens' calculator, apparently, so 61 laps to go in this 147 lap event. And here's the 08 car. That is Bobby Dotter, and he's got a new crew chief this week. Bob Johnson is turning the wrenches on that car.
And there we see Kenny Wallace is losing the spot to the 38 car of Elton Sawyer. Well, I thought he was.
No, he's taking the spot away. We saw him a little bit earlier. He tried to get by Elton Sawyer in car number 38. finally made the pass this time. David Green comes along as well. All those cars sort of tiptoeing now. Those tires are really worn on these cars. They haven't made a pit stop, but they are wanting to get in pit, get fresh tires on their cars. Bobby Daughter's in there right now, and
Mike McLaughlin is in up pit road net in the Fiddle Faddle Chevrolet. They have changed left and right side tires on that car, so he is now down and away.
I'm sure that many of them are hoping to go far enough that they can just make it on one more pit stop as Ricky Craven brings the DuPont Automotive finishes Chevrolet into the pits. Johnny Benson Jr. is coming in as well. Johnny had moved up into the third position. Let's go to Kyle Petty.
Well, here in Johnny Benson's pit, their plan is to change 4 tires. It's just like you guys said. These guys that are leading the race and running up in the top 4 or 5, they need to come in, stretch it as far as they can stretch it, put these tires on, because their tires aren't having any problem at all. They're not having any tire problem at all. Johnny Benson's having a little trouble with the right front. John Kernan?
That's okay, Kyle. My mom calls me Johnny. But we're down here in Mark Martin's pit. Steve Neal, Bobby Leslie, and the crew waiting for Mark to pull it in. He'll pull his Ford Thunderbird in. It'll be a routine 4-tire change, 1 chassis adjustment. This time, 2 rounds of wedge out on the left rear as they continue to try to loosen up Mark Martin's car. They've also got an extra man over the wall that went to NASCAR and asked about cleaning the windshield. NASCAR, in the interest of safety, of course, they said yes. You can have an extra man over to clean the windshield. That's Bobby Leslie cleaning the windshield. His job is finished. Left side is going on, and Mark Martin is down and away. Larry Pearson running in the top 5 is in. Remember, he had lost the handle on the car. I talked to his crew chief, Brian Pemberton. He said, yes, that they had lost the handle, so they are going to do a 4-tire change. Also, Chad Little will be coming down pit road very shortly. We're expecting Chad to take 4 tires, also loosen up his car. David Green also on pit road for a 4-tire change. Larry Pearson down and away. Chad Little, the crew going to work on the right side. Gary Cogswell is going to work now. Kenny Wallace in the 8 Ford Thunderbird, the TIC Financial car. He is in for 4-tire change. Now back to Chad Little. Right side work is completed. Left side tires going on Chad Little's car. Right side tires on to Kenny Wallace. Now David Green is completing a 4-tire change. He heads back down pit road. Kenny Wallace's car, they made a chassis adjustment around on the right rear. 26.8 seconds is Chad Little. Heads down pit road. Now the left side tires going on Kenny Wallace, who won last week at Bristol. Wallace still sitting there on pit road. It looks like they might have had a problem getting the left front tire on. Now they're waiting for the jack to finally drop. Kenny Wallace is down and away.
I tell you what, guys, that 23 car's got a problem. You see all that water coming out of the right, behind the right rear tire?
Yeah,
I don't know if he's up to speed. Probably isn't up to speed yet or not. I don't know if he realizes he has a problem. He was losing a great deal of water during that pit stop. Looks like he's up to speed now, so maybe he had an excessive amount of water in there. He could afford to lose it, but looks like a lot of water came out of the pit.
91 laps are being shown in the books here at Darlington. 147 make up the Gatorade 200. Taking a nice look at Derek Cope there driving the Ron Zook car. Now you're riding along with Mark Martin. Back with more Busch action in just a moment.
You know, working at AutoZone is more than just looking up parts or ringing up sales. Most of all is listening. Because my customers know more about their cars than I'll ever know. They know every rattle by heart. I mean, that car is their baby. So when they got a problem they're going to fix themselves, I'm going to do my best to help them get whatever they need, no matter what it takes. Because people like that, they don't deserve anything less than the best I can give them.
When traffic congestion changes, the threats to your car's engine change. That's why Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. So whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Buy a case of Quaker State motor oil and receive an 8-ounce Armor All Protectant free. Details for this mail-in offer at participating stores.
You can compare the Suzuki RF to a lot of things.
another motorcycle isn't one of them.
At Pep Boys, we'll fit this Ford Taurus with a top-quality Niapco half shaft for about $191. Your dealer could charge around $400. Once again, deal? Dealer. Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy. At Pep Boys, top-quality Niapco half shafts come with our lifetime warranty. At other places, you may only get 90 days. Let's see, lifetime or 90 days? Get a lifetime. Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
Performance. Every element on the track is matched by one off the track. Off the track and into the high-performance furnace systems of Luxair. Speed is matched by high efficiency, protection by strong warranty, handling by quiet operation, and power by warm Luxair comfort. Winners in performance, #1 in comfort, Luxair. A reason for loving every season.
50 laps remain here at Darlington, South Carolina, the Gatorade 200. Mark Martin trying to win 2 in a row here in the fall. He's already won 2 in a row, and in fact, he won here this past spring in that race car. Winn-Dixie sponsorship, owned by Jack Roush, prepared by Bobby Leslie and crew.
Guys, the 5th, we might check with that 60 crew and see if that car is running up to speed. The 38 car just passed him a moment ago, and it's, I don't know, it just looks to me like the car might not be running as fast as it did before. There we see the 15 car of Derek Stevens. Dirk Stevens has caught the 60 car.
Passing flag being given to some of the lap traffic there by...
There's our second place car.
Yeah, Dale Jarrett just went around Mike Wallace. Wallace came out in second place after all of those pit stops. He made his pit stop a little bit earlier, and with those new tires really gained some distance there, but now those tires are beginning to wear, so Jarrett went around him. Jarrett's in second. Mike Wallace is third, and in fourth place is Johnny Benson. Mike McLaughlin has moved up into the 5th position.
There's David Green, the car number 44. Jason Keller behind him in the 57, the Budget Gourmet sponsorship. And obviously, Benny, you were right. Something is amiss in the car number 60. John?
Jerry, I just talked to Bobby Leslie, the crew chief. He says, no, there's not a problem with the car. The only thing, he wanted to know if they were leading the race. He said there was some confusion with the scoring. Jack and Mark have been on the radio and want to know if they were leading. Well, yes, they are leading the race. He has such a huge advantage right now. They've kind of told Mark to take it easy. What they'd like to do is finish this race without another pit stop if it goes green the rest of the way. So Mark Martin's trying to take care of his tires.
He has about a 8.5 second lead. Well, it says 10 seconds there right now. My watch said the last time around 8.5 seconds. And there he's going by a lot of cars there right now. Let's go to the pits and Kyle Petty.
Well, Harry was one of the cars that only changed 2 tires. He came back in just then, and I thought maybe he had come back in to put on left side. They went around to the right side, jacked it up, dropped it, came around to the left side, jacked it up. He had a flat left front tire. So whether these tires are wearing out or whether they're running over something, it seems like 4 tires, guys, just like Darlington always is the way to go.
And there's Harry again exiting the pits. We might mention that the cars that have been on and off pit road, Bobby Hillen driving the Bill Papke on Luxair Chevrolet is back in the pits. He is being shown some 34 laps down. They went to the garage here early on with a problem. He's back on pit road trying to get the car back in the race.
One reason that it pays to take on 4 tires when you come in is because the slowdown and the get back up speed time is so great here at Darlington. You don't lose over an extra 8 or 9 seconds by going ahead and changing those left side tires. And it'll certainly gain you a lot more than that out on the racetrack. Now we see Derek Cope racing with Dale Jarrett there. Derek is a lap down. Derek Cope is a lap down as he moves around Dale Jarrett, who is in second place. Let's go to the back pits and Michael Walker.
Well, Ned and Benny, these guys over here on the back stretch are, in Dale Jarrett's pit, are hoping for a caution around a lap 120 or 25. They are running second, and the caution is flying right now, so they just needed me to ask for it, I guess. They're running second due to the fact that they pitted sooner than a lot of the other cars. Therefore, they're running around real fast on new tires while the other guys are slipping and sliding on older tires. They get this caution that they need now. They're running second. They get 4 fresh tires and race Mark to the end, hopefully with the chance to win the race from the backstretch.
Is the caution flag for rain, Michael?
I don't know.
Okay.
second caution flag of the day, flying here on lap 105, and Joe Nemechek able to get a lap back. Let's check in, Kyle. Why the caution?
They say the caution's for rain, and I'll tell you what, I've been standing here for, 104 or 5 laps. It's been raining for 104 or 5 laps, so I don't know why they would throw the caution out, guys.
How does he tell when it's raining with all that hair is what I want to know. I usually can tell when it's raining because I don't have anything to seal it off.
Well, I tell you, it looks very rainy around here. It is very, very overcast. And
I really thought that's why Mark Martin slowed down just a little bit ago, because he got so much moisture on the windshield. He said, hey, guys, it's just too wet out here to be running that hard. That's why I thought that maybe Mark slowed down.
Well, let's take a look at the view that Mark has from the windshield, riding along with him now behind that pace car right in front with Elmo Langley aboard. There's our leader, Mark Martin.
You can't see too much.
Hard to really tell.
Yeah, you can't see. And we see Elmo has the windshield wipers on. That's not a good sign. Elmo, turn off the windshield wipers. Maybe we won't believe it is raining out there.
Yeah, I believe it's raining. You notice Mark Martin didn't come into the pits. He's staying out there because this could be the race. We're past the halfway mark, and if it is raining, he wants it to rain harder.
Well, that's a good point. You know, Michael Walter just made a point that these guys wanted to see a caution flag. Dennis Setzer is in the pits, and Joe Nemechek is in on the front stretch. And they are conferring now behind pit wall as to exactly what they should do. Do you come in to get the tires that everyone needs, or do you wait?
Well, I think you're telling jokes right now instead of conferring. What do you think? We ought to pit?
Well, you mentioned that Joe Nemechek, who got his lap back there just as it came down for the caution flag, and Dennis Setzer are both in the pits. They were at the tail end of the lead lap. They had nothing to lose. That's good strategy on their part, because if the others do come into the pits, the race restarted, then they'll have to come in. These guys will be up front.
Indeed they will, and you just got to look at some of the best race fans you want to see anywhere. They have been here all day through the early morning thunder showers, and they are hoped to be able to see a finish. Good crowd on hand here at Darlington. Glad to have you with us. Back with more action after this.
Shopping made easy at the talented Troll and Filmworks 1 Hour Photo, the only full-service photo lab in Northwest Bradenton. We handle any photographic need. Our counselors are ready to answer any question or help you with 1 hour prints, enlargements, portrait shots, copying old photos, or selecting a frame matter album. Filmworks 1 Hour Photo. If needlework is your specialty, the talented Troll will keep you browsing for hours with a complete selection of yarns, needlepoint, cross-stitch, crewel, and threads. Our knowledgeable staff is ready to assist you at all times. Look for exclusive kits. Ask about custom designing. The talented Troll and Filmworks 1 Hour Photo in Palmasola Square.
It's 94 closeout at your Gulf Coast Chevrolet Geo dealers. Yes, prices and payments you've waited for all year long. We're out to sell 1,000 94s to make room for convoys of 95s. Save now on Camaros and S10s. Yes, Camaros from $13,989. Dual airbags, stereo, and more. $13,989. Save on S10s from $99.80. Air conditioning, power steering, and more. $99.80. It's 94 closeout at your Gulf Coast Chevrolet Geo dealers. Don't miss it.
NASCAR, a celebration of automotive function and form. Exceptional handling for a ride you won't forget. In traffic or on the open road. Experience NASCAR for yourself. Tomorrow, it's the Mountain Dew Southern 500 at 1 Eastern, live on ESPN. Find out why NASCAR is your car.
Track Facts are brought to you by Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Well, we all know why helmets are needed for the drivers. It's a safety factor inside the car. But what about the visor that they wear? Well, on a day like today where it's overcast, kind of dark, the clouds are in the air, you would wear a clear visor. Well, it would look something like what you're looking through the camera right now at me. But what if the sun is out? Well, you put one of these type of visors, a little bit darker visor. Now, how important is it to having the correct visor? Well, remember last year or a couple years ago, Mark Martin actually came in, instead of just changing the visor on his helmet, he went from a smoky, dark visor to a clear one by changing helmets, actually, during the middle of the race. Mark almost won that race.
Indeed he did, John, and they've even used to put tinted windshields in the cars, but then with races running late in the evening sometimes, it was very difficult to see, and it became more of a liability. Thanks to the fine folks of Steel providing these aerial shots from our aerial helicopter platform. Steel, makers of full line of outdoor power equipment. Powerful, easy to use, and durable. Getting these wonderful shots of, unfortunately, raindrops falling over Darlington Raceway.
You talked about the smoky windshields. You know, there we see some raindrops falling in the puddles. But you've seen the cars go around with the real dark windshields in the cars and the side windows. In a race car, when you're behind a car, say at Talladega, Daytona, or even here at 165 miles an hour, when you're behind the car and you're looking through his car, you have to look through his car to see where you're going. And those dark windshields, you couldn't see anything. It was literally like running with a hood over the windshield.
In fact, 2 years ago, NASCAR legislated those smoked or those tinted windshields out for just that reason, Benny, because they felt that there was a safety problem. Not for the guy in the car, but for the people behind him. And NASCAR said, no more of those. You can use a visor, but you can no longer tint those windshields. Let's check in the back pits where Michael Waltrip can give us an update on Dale Jarrett. Mike?
Just as his caution failed, Dale Jarrett lost an ignition box. It went bad. Dale reached over and flipped it. He's in good shape now. He told the guys on the crew that if they ever put that type of box in his car again, he'd fire them all, though. So there's that. I want to be an owner. I'd like to have that kind of power every now and then. Dale also reports that the track is very wet. Benny, you know how narrow this place is when it's dry. He says there's just one little path all the way around the racetrack, makes it very treacherous to drive. Terry Labonte on his green flag pit stop, the left rear air gun failed. That's why he's a lap down. He was running pretty good up until that point.
Terry is in the 13th position, 1 lap down.
That Michael is just full of information back there, isn't he?
Man. Now, Michael, I got to wonder now, if they put an ignition box in your car, would you fire the crew?
No.
Would you like to be able to?
Yeah, that'd feel good, you know, just to know you had that kind of power. Dale was obviously kidding, and he got the situation fixed, but he was kind of upset there for a little bit.
I think John Irvin's not really a crew member. He's more like a member of the family, Ned, so he's been around longer than Dale.
Well, yeah, he has. That's the truth. And he actually lived with us for a number of years when we were racing out of Bondi Long shops in Camden, South Carolina.
And they've got a gas man over there by the name of Digger, who's about 350 pounds. I don't think Dale wants to mess with him either. Back with more Busch Series action in just a moment. Stay with us.
When traffic congestion changes, the threats to your car's engine change. That's why Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. So whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Buy a case of Quaker State motor oil and receive an 8-ounce Armor All Protectant free. Details for this mail-in offer at participating stores.
Oil. It's the lifeblood of your engine. That makes your oil filter your engine's most vital organ. That's why Fram keeps going the extra mile to make the best protection even better. The Fram Extra Guard oil filter. Unique glass fiber paper stops more dirt than any other filter for the best protection ever. Fram Extra Guard. American or import, it's an extra lease on life.
Hey, is that what I think it is? Yeah, it's my new Wagner Power Painter. Well, can you edge with it? Yeah, you can edge like this, or adjust it to control the paint up close. And when I'm done, I'm gonna switch nozzles and stain my deck. Do a lot of other jobs I've been meaning to do.
Well, does it clean up easy?
Yeah, it's quicker than you think.
Why am I painting this by hand?
Good question. Get a Wagner.
Fuel. It's got to be the best, especially when you fire up. It's got to provide efficient turnover. It's got to be lean and have some rare qualities. A WD brand steak from Winn-Dixie. It'll definitely get your motor racing. Oh, the car? It takes high test.
Linguistics, physics, and of course, the humanities. Tonight, it's a Big 8, Big East showdown when Oklahoma takes on Syracuse at 7:30. ESPN's college football season. We're gonna ring your bell.
We are back at Darlington Raceway, and it has been raining here or misting for the past hour and a half when we have a caution flag out, and they are about to change that caution flag, we are told, as the field now follows this Pontiac safety car down pit road. And indeed, Carl Simmons is waving the red flag. Red flag indicating they're going to stop this race. They will halt it here at lap 111 of 147. So 36 laps remain. Feeling that probably they need time to get some of the equipment out and drive the racetrack.
Now, under red flag conditions, you cannot work on the race car. The crews can come over, they can get the driver out of the car, he can go over to the pits, but they cannot physically, they can't change tires, they can't change the chassis, they can't do anything to the car. No work is permitted during the red flag.
And all of those guys out there on pit road with those blue uniforms on, they're there to see that they don't do any work to this car. They're NASCAR officials.
Let's take a look at how they stand right now. Mark Martin being shown as our leader. Of course, Dale Jarrett is in second position. There they are. Mike Wallace third. Johnny Benson fourth. Chad Little is in fifth position.
Mike McLaughlin, Larry Pearson, Ricky Craven, Elton Sawyer, Dennis Setzer. Good run for Setzer, still a rookie in the lead lap. And Nemechek, the last car on the lead lap.
And a lot of these cars got a lap down as a result of the green flag pit stops. Some of them stayed out there a little bit too long, ran those old tires, and it really was costing them speed on the racetrack. Maybe if the thing had gone green all the way, it could have worked to their advantage, but it has caught up with them here now.
See the cars that are out of the race. Steve Grissom has had to park it. Ron Hevron, Roy Payne, Jim Bound, Tracy Leslie, Mike Garvey, Dale Earnhardt had an engine problem, and Rodney Combs, unfortunately, his Richard Petty-owned machine had an engine problem in the early laps, and he has parked it.
There we see Mark Martin climbing out of the Winn-Dixie Ford. Tim Feeder will park right behind him.
Well, weather is a factor here right now, but it will not be a factor at the Carrier Dome tonight in Syracuse. ESPN will bring you our CFA college football coverage. 15th ranked Oklahoma Sooners going up to take on the Orange Men of Syracuse. Ron Franklin, Mike Gottfried, and Mike Adamley will be on hand to bring you that live coverage from the Carrier Dome. That's at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Our CFA college football coming your way. And they're covering the cars up here. You see Mike Wallace's crew covering it up. And as Benny said, you can't touch the car, you can't do much to it.
And we saw the guy put in a piece of tape over the cowl. That's to make sure that no moisture gets down in the carburetor and air cleaner. They are allowed to put some tape over that opening.
Let's check in with Kyle Petty. Kyle?
Well, I heard Benny Parsons talking about putting tape over the opening, not to allow anything down. I was down here about, I don't know, 7-8 years ago driving for the Wood Brothers. Qualifying was almost over with. There was like 5 cars to go. Our cars sat on pit road all night long because it started raining. They stopped. I came in the next day, blasted around this place, went down the first corner, hit the brakes, had no brakes. The master cylinder that we used to run had a little breather tube in the top. It filled up with water, filled the system up with water, and believe me, I don't think I've ever hit harder anywhere in my life, guys.
So that's the reason. Let's check in with John Curtis.
Well, I'm standing by with the leader of the race right now, Mark Martin. And Mark, yesterday in the Winston Cup garage, I asked you how that Busch car is running. You said, boom, it's out of here. Looks like it.
Yeah, it couldn't be more perfect today. The Goodyear tires are really working good, and the Winn-Dixie team has got me in a new car here. And, you know, I'm always nervous about new cars when you got an old one that works as good as our old Winn-Dixie car. But that thing is just, it's working good. The engine's running well. The Goodyear tires are working good, and we didn't get a lot of practice, so we made a couple adjustments on the chassis each time. But the first time we made a big adjustment, the second time just kind of fine-tuned it in, and it's ready.
You mentioned about the replacing the old car that ran well with this one. Bobby Leslie said y'all just basically did some fine-tuning to that type of car.
Well, I don't know why it works good. You know, I'm not sure if the team does or not either. We just try to build some more, just like the one that's so fast. So we got a couple of them that are really awesome now with this one as an addition. And the one that won all the races last year is semi-retired, and the one that's been so fast this year is like a backup to this one. So we don't have a lot of cars. We run them every week, and we try to take good care of them.
Well, with a car that runs, is capable of running as fast as this, why were you slowing down? It looked like, were you slowing down on purpose there?
Well, I knew how far we had to go on tires, and I knew that the guys that were laps down had to try as hard as they could to get their laps back, and we weren't having any pressure, and I wanted to save the tires for the end.
you know, we'd have had better rubber. If we took it easy the first 10 or 15 laps on them, we'd have had a lot more left the last 15 laps. So, you know, I was just trying to take care of it.
So what do you do right now that red flag condition?
Sit around, twiddle our thumbs.
Okay, guys.
Mark Martin's car number 60 has led over 90% of the race laps that he has entered in the 11 events this year in Busch Series competition. Back with more from Darlington after this.
The electric start Suzuki Dual Sport 650, 350, 250, and 125. No other line has a wider range.
When traffic congestion changes, the threats to your car's engine change. That's why Quaker State has engineered intelligent oil. Oil that senses the changing threats in your engine and adapts its own molecular structure for continuous protection. So whenever the driving conditions change, so does Quaker State, the intelligent oil for longer engine life.
Buy a case of Quaker State motor oil and receive an 8-ounce Armor All Protectant free. Details for this mail-in offer at participating stores.
At AutoZone, most of our customers are folks who like to work on their cars themselves. But the ones who come in most often are those who work on cars for a living. Guys like Ed Graven. Now, Ed's garage is in Ogden, Utah, where most of the time you'll find him pulling an engine or sliding under a car. And just about every day, he drives past a half-dozen other parts stores on his way to AutoZone. Because Ed knows that when it comes to getting the right part for the right price, there's just no place better than AutoZone.
Back at Darlington Raceway, we are under a red flag condition in this NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Gatorade 200 with Mark Martin as our leader. We told you earlier in the day, those of you who joined us late because of some rain and inclement weather in the area, we're going to give you an update on Ernie Irvan. And indeed, the news continues to get better and better out of St. Joseph's Mercy Hospital up in Ann Arbor, Michigan. Of course, Ernie Irvan critically injured 2 weeks ago today. We were told this morning by his physicians that he has been removed from the ventilators. You take a look at Larry McReynolds, his crew chief, and the young man who will sub for Ernie Irvan in the Winston Cup race tomorrow, Kenny Wallace. Once again, Ernie's been removed from the ventilator. His condition now has been upgraded from serious to fair. He has not been able to vocalize or speak yet because he still has the tracheostomy tube in place, but he has been able to mouth some words to family and friends. A follow-up brain scan. This, again, I'm quoting the trauma physicians, Dr. Errol Erlinson. A follow-up brain scan has shown further resolution or diminishing of the swelling. And again, I quote, at this point in time, we see no evidence of any irreversible brain injury. And folks that are there in the grandstands, and for all of us here and the people listening at home, that is wonderful news about Ernie Irvan.
It is that. When you say he's removed from the ventilator, that means he's breathing on his own.
He's breathing on his own. Still has the tracheostomy tube in place there in his neck, but he's able to breathe on his own. In fact, Benny, they were able to get him up into a chair and sit him in a chair, and we are told even from the hospital that with some assistance he has been able to take a step or two. So you really got to give a call to the doctors up there, Dr. Walter Whitehouse, Dr. Errol Erlinson, Dr. Farhat, the neurosurgeon, and the entire trauma team up there at St. Joseph's Mercy Hospital, and also the people at Michigan International Speedway did such a wonderful job at the scene that morning for Ernie Irvan to be able to recover so quickly. And we'll have another update tomorrow during our live coverage of the Mountain Dew 500. Once again, tomorrow we'll be live flag to flag for the Mountain Dew Southern 500, 45th edition of the famed Fall Classic here at the track they say is too tough to tame. And one of the drivers will be in that event tomorrow, stands by with a microphone in his hand. Right now, here's Michael Walter.
Thanks, Jerry. I'm beside David Green and Bobby Labonte. This is owner-driver combination that's currently leading the Busch Grand National point standings. You had to have heart failure on the start of the race.
Yeah, I don't know. We fired it up and warmed everything up because it's awful cool today, and as I rode off pit road, it started missing a little bit, so kind of revved it up and went through the gears and figured out maybe it's a spark plug or a wire that fell off. And luckily enough, we had some cautions there before we went green, and the guys found it, put another spark plug in it, and got right back out there. But long way coming from the back. I felt bad about starting 26, but it was really worse at 42nd or whatever it was. But cars running good. We went all the way to the front almost, and then had a little problem with the lug wrench and fell back a little bit, but now it rained, so who knows what's going to happen.
Bobby, it's been a pretty good year for you guys. This had to work out really well, picking David to drive the car and you moving on to something bigger and better.
Yeah, it really has. You know, this Owensboro native like yourself has done an excellent job. He's, you know, like today the spark plug was broke, and he pinpointed that right away, and he did an excellent job here at Darlington. He's only been here 4 or 5 times, and you know, run real good and real smooth, consistent, and doesn't tear much up. So that's really good for a car owner's point of view.
You're looking awful good for tomorrow.
Yep, we did a good job qualifying. The whole all guys in the crew that worked there did a good job. It was just it was a good effort, and same car we had at Indy and at Michigan, which works real good. So hopefully get the Maxwell House Pontiac going tomorrow.
All right, off to John Kernan.
Standing by with Dale Jarrett. Dale, look up at the scoreboard. Second place. Not too shabby. Some great pit work for you guys.
Yeah, we really have. The car's awfully good, but the guys in the pits have done a fantastic job. We came in, I guess, the first time running about 12th and came out 3rd, pitting on the backstretch, and then our green flag stop was really good. We pitted a little early there. I abused the tires a little bit and wore them out, and I said, let's just go ahead and pit, and it worked out good for us. And then we got in and had a miss here. We've got a box in the car or something that's causing a miss. It's kind of like what blew the engine at Dover, and so we'll remedy that problem whenever we get back to Hickory. But awfully proud of the guys, and you know, I'm happy to be running here. Don't know if I can handle that 60 car or not. It'd be fun to try, but you know, all of this is great. But you just told me the best news I've heard all day and for a long time, that Ernie's been taken off the ventilator and he's up and taking a couple of steps and in fair condition. And Ernie, if you're watching, if you see this on tape, man, we're happy for you. That's the best news that we've heard around here in a long time. Whatever goes on here, that's great. Get back here soon.
That is great news, but I got to ask you a question because Michael Walter brought it up earlier. Are you going to fire anybody if they ever buy another one of those initials? What was that conversation you had on the radio?
We probably can't repeat the conversation here. I get a little excited at times, and you know, the guys know that it's nothing personal. I know that we had a good race car, and I just hate for things to happen 2 times. And we tried to bypass that before we came here, but we couldn't get the car to crank. So it's a deal in there that we're going to have to redo our ignition system that's in the car, and John and the guys will get that corrected, and Wes and the guys are working on the chassis awfully hard. It's getting good, so we need to just solve all these problems and start giving Mark a little harder time. He's having it too easy up there.
All right, right now Dale Jarrett sits in 2nd place, and yeah, Jerry, we're all happy about the news you told about Ernie Irvin.
Indeed we are, and we're going to pass that along to the folks here in the grandstands here very shortly, as we are under a rain delay. Red flag conditions here in the late laps of the NASCAR Busch Grand National Series Gatorade 200.
The time has finally come for the cordless power roller from Wagner. Now you control the flow of paint, so the Wagner power roller can cut jobs in half. Smoothly and evenly, it can cover areas twice as fast, and cleanup is a snap, so you can finish one job and do another. Get your hands on a real value, because the value of Wagner keeps on rolling.
Alternative math. What do 1 crust sandwich, 1 order of hash browns, and 1 hot coffee add up to?
$1.99.
At Burger King, just $1.99 every day. We may not be the world's #1 fast food place. It just tastes that way.
If you think this is a broad selection of tires, wait till you go to Pep Boys. Get $40 back on a set of 4 Michelin, Uniroyal, or Futura tires. $20 back on any 2. Come to Pep Boys and drive away happy.
Back at Darlington, South Carolina, there are the NASCAR Busch Series cars covered up on pit road as we are some 36 laps away from completion here of this Gatorade 200. Rain shower throughout the morning. We're able to get the track dry, and the fans have been able to try to stay dry. You talk about dedication. There are no more dedicated group than these race fans right here. Our diehard driver profile this week features Larry Pearson, the 40-year-old driver, second-generation driver. And he is 9th currently in the Busch Series points, has 13 wins, 10 poles, 182 career Busch Series starts. And yes, folks, he was a 2-time Series champion back in 1986 and 87. Our Kyle Petty is caught up with our profile driver. Kyle?
Yeah, I'm standing here with Larry Pearson. We're talking about the rain, talking about his daddy, who absolutely dominated this place for so many years. You seem to be the only guy out there today that had anything for Mark Martin. You came out of the pack, you run him down, caught up to him, and then we started in the cautions in the first rounds of pit stops, and you've been up and back, and you were working your way back. I know you guys didn't want that caution because you felt like you were one of the few cars that could go the distance. You know, I know it's not been the greatest year for you. You've qualified good, you've qualified bad, you've run good, but obviously you get around this place good.
Yeah, finally, some of the things that Dad has told me has finally sunk in. Matter of fact, he's here today, and he reminded me again this morning about how to get around this place, and in his manner, the way he speaks to me. But yeah, we've got a good car. I don't know what happened during our pit stop. We had a slow stop that put us in the back, but we are coming back up through there, and hopefully if we can get this thing started and go up and give Mark a run.
Well, I know what it's like to have a daddy talk to you and try to tell you how to get around a racetrack. Believe me that. You've been a Busch Grand National champion. You spent some years here. You spent some years away from it. I know you're hungry to get back into it. But what about Winston Cup racing? When are you going to come over there? Do you got anything in the works? There's a lot of cars over there right now. A lot of people talking about changing rides. A lot of rides opening up. Have you talked to anybody over there?
Well, not that I can mention, but yeah, there are some cars opening up, and if I go over to Winston Cup, it's going to be a really, really good, super deal. I mean, when you go over there and you run with y'all guys, you've got to have your act together. I mean, I'm not going over there and run Winston Cup with the same situation that I've been in the past. But right now, I'm happy with Martin Motorsports. I enjoy doing this, and he has even mentioned maybe Winston Cup in the future, starting out with maybe a few races at a time. But, if a really, really good car opens up over there, I could be interested, but until that happens, then I'm satisfied where I'm at.
Well, that's Larry Pearson. I'm telling you, he's won Busch Grand National races he can win in anything he sets in. So when he comes over there, it's going to be somebody to be reckoned with, Jerry.
Indeed, I believe you, Kyle. 2 second-place finishes in 1994. Those coming here at Darlington in the spring and in Atlanta to Harry Gant. Well, we're going to be moving out to the West Coast for racing action coming your way tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Can Al Unser Jr. pick up win number 7 in 1994? What an awesome Roger Penske racing operation to have. The Molson Indy Vancouver coming your way from out in Vancouver, British Columbia. That's at 9 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow. We'll be back in just a moment.
Racing legend Richard Petty gave us an incredible challenge to try and start his toys.
All my toys.
All at once with a single diehard. So we hooked up all 9 engines, and the diehard started every one.
All at the same time.
But would it still have the power to start this big toy? Here's diehard. More power when you need it most.
M. Keston Apparel for Men announces our moving sale with savings up to 70%. After 15 years in the same location, we're moving just down the street, but we must liquidate a large portion of our inventory prior to the move. Substantial savings on suits, sport coats, slacks, shorts, knit shirts, ties, shoes, and much, much more. These exceptional savings won't last long, so stop in today during our moving sale at M. Keston Apparel for Men, Manatee Avenue West at 55th Street, Palmasola Square.
Tune into Sports Center Daily for a recap of all your sports highlights. Sponsored by Cox Chevrolet and Geo, 2900 Cortez Road West in Bradenton.
Commune where land and water meet. Dig the sand, love the sun. Make waves, not war. Wavestock 94, the ESPN2 Labor Day weekend, beach sports extravaganza, a universal celebration of beach behavior. Tomorrow at 8 p.m. Turn on, tune in, kick sand.
And we are high above Central South Carolina, here in the town of Darlington, South Carolina, above the racetrack, courtesy of the fine folks from Steel, makers of a full line of outdoor power equipment, powerful, easy to use, and durable. They're giving you these shots here of Darlington Raceway here in Darlington, South Carolina. Now, we're awaiting a decision from NASCAR as it continues to rain here. We have red flagged this race with 36 laps to go. But for those of you who didn't stay up last week after Bristol and get to see an exciting version of Shop Talk with Ray Evernham and, of course, Jeff Gordon, his driver, we're going to bring you that issue right now. So get a chance to get out your pens and buy something here from Ray Evernham and Jeff Gordon, and we'll stay here and keep you posted on Busch Series action. Here's Shop Talk.
Thank you. I tell you what, I'd like to finish this thing, but once they stopped it, I thought, man, I'd hate for them to restart it. Something might go wrong. So the Winn-Dixie car was it was perfect, and the guys were awesome on pit road. And I'm looking forward to running this car next week. I can't wait.
I can't believe that. You're a lot easier than I was. 2 years ago, I won up at Watkins Glen. He was the first guy there. He said, well, it's official. You win the race. I said, buddy, I got to have it from a little bit higher source than you. I can't believe you're that easy. This is a joke. You didn't win the race. They're going to start it again in a minute.
Well, I'd be dumb enough to believe it.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, man.
Hey, does this make up for Bristol?
No,
not last week. I'm talking back, you know, when you pulled in, remember? Yeah. I mean, Kyle says you're gullible and you believe him.
That don't make up, nothing makes up for being as stupid as I was at the first Bristol. And Ernie, Butch Stevens said that he called and he said, anything he can do to help straighten that car out. I think I'll take your car and have a snout like this put on it, so next time we run it, maybe it'll work better.
This car's kind of a secret car. And I mean, you got some things in that car to make it really good, don't you?
Yeah, what we do is we tell everybody that we've got it all changed up and it's special, our design, and then everybody's all confused and they cut all their stuff up and we're still racing regular stuff and everybody else is out to lunch. So
back to talking about Ernie, I mean, it sounds like you're already spending money for him out there.
Butch offered to do it for free.
Wow.
And, you know, BSR Hess race cars offered to just to help out because that's what we run in this Busch Series and the Winn-Dixie car. And heck, man, I'm thankful that, you know, we had a good, safe day and the Goodyear tires worked good and that Ford ran all day, or till the race was over.
All right, congratulations, Mark. Also a fine run for Chad Little. He's standing by with Michael Waltrip.
Chad ran in the top 5 all day long, got as high as second, climbed from 4th, I guess, or 5th to 3rd in the points, around 100 points out. Real good day today, not only for you, but also the good news about Ernie, man. They say he got up and with some assistance walked, and we're all real proud about that. That's probably the most important thing we've heard today.
Oh, that is good news. You know, I just want to say hi to Ernie and Kim, and I think that's awesome. We don't like to see anybody in those situations, and I just want to thank Harris Teeter and our crew. They did a great job today. We had an awesome race car, same one we raced in Michigan, and it's a good car. And you know, we're gonna probably go test this next week and get ready for Richmond and Rockingham and all those places coming up, and hopefully we can make a shot at this championship.
I guess over the last 5, 6, 8 races, you've collected more points than anybody and have really closed the gap. How do you feel about the races remaining?
Well, I think we got a good shot. We're going to take 2 cars and go test next week. I mean, David Green's going to be tough to beat, though. He's been very consistent this year, and we're just going to have to, you know, do our best to try to reel him in a little bit at a time. And of course, Ricky Craven's having an awesome year, too. And I think we moved up into 3rd in points, so that's good. And we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed and stay out of trouble. And hopefully we'll bring this Bear Select Harris Teeter Fords into the championship. And that'd be awesome for a first-year team.
Yeah, that would be. Guys, take it away from on pit road, or however you do that. I'm not real good at that yet.
That's Michael Waltrip and Chad Little. And let's take a look at our results here. The race has been completed. Mark Martin is our winner. You see Dale Jarrett, Mike Wallace. Johnny Benson, a rookie, finishes 4th. Good run for him. And Chad Lilly, just heard from a moment ago, finished in the top 5.
And Mike McLaughlin, another rookie, finishing in 6th. Pearson 7th. He wanted the race to start back. He felt like he could get closer to the front. Dennis Setzer, another rookie, back in 10th. And Nemechek, 11th.
That's the top 15 there. Take a look back in the pack. We might mention that some of the drivers had some trouble early in the event. Tommy Houston eventually having to call it a day, finishing back in 30th spot.
And there we see some guys who had some serious problems. One of the Powell boys from down in Somerville, South Carolina. Dave Resendez, all these fellows having some serious problems and having to fall out of the race. Earnhardt.
5 events remain here for 1994 in the Busch Series. And here are the point standings. David Green is our point leader. Ricky Craven in 2nd spot. Chad Little moves to 3rd. The big loser today is Hermie Sadler. Having trouble, goes from a tie for 2nd back to 4th spot. Kenny Wallace hangs on to 5th. In 6th is Bobby Dotter. There's Dennis Setzer, the rookie you heard Benny talking about. Larry Pearson in 8th position. He's up 1 spot from 9th. Tracy Leslie having trouble early today, falls back to 9th. And Tim Fiedel moves up from 11th to 10th in the current NASCAR Busch Grand National Series point standings. We'll be back with more from Darlington Raceway. Also, we'll have some more from NASCAR Shop Talk when we come back in just a moment.
Just ask Teddy and Pearson and Yarborough again.
My truck has 99,000 miles on it, and it's like a brand new engine.
America is talking about split fire.
I feel like I have a new engine.
No hesitation. You hit your passing gear, you're gone. Right now.
Split fire won a United States patent. It doesn't look like any other spark plug. It doesn't work like any other spark plug.
I love them. I have them on my motorcycle, my boat, and my car.
Love them. Love them.
Split fire. At $5.99, America knows it only costs more till you use it.
I can say I've saved at least $3 to $4 a week.
Probably getting, I would say about 20 miles more per tank full, and that's a lot for me.
They'll pay for themselves basically in the first 6 months you own them.
Split fire. It only costs more till you use it. Here's another split fire breakthrough. Twin core wire sets with a dual firing path to every plug. More power and more mileage or your money back.
Now, when you buy a case of quality Valvoline motor oil, you can send away for a Valvoline hat.
Honey, I'm going out.
Okay. And become a member of the Valvoline Performance Team. Join the Valvoline Performance Team, and you'll feel like you're right in the middle of the action. So buy a case and get a hat, plus great deals on Valvoline racing gear and a lot more.
Honey, where have you been?
Just out for a little spin.
People who know use Valvoline.
Every day, we all find a way. A promise made, a promise kept, giving it our best.
Napa, we're the most complete source for auto parts. And all Napa parts are backed by a nationwide warranty program. No wonder more Americans trust Napa to keep their vehicles running.
We keep America running. We keep America running.
The courage of the athlete defies expectation. The determination of the athlete surpasses limitations. The soul of the athlete thrives on challenge. The Emmy Award-winning series Outside the Lines presents Triumph of the Spirit, an in-depth look at current issues faced by mentally and physically challenged athletes. Outside the Lines, Triumph of the Spirit, Tuesday at 7:30. Adapting, overcoming, and excelling, only on ESPN.
Welcome back to Darlington, South Carolina. The Gatorade 200 is history, and Shop Talk will be coming up next. Our Speedwell coverage of the Gatorade 200 has been brought to you by the Valvoline Performance Team and by Allied Signals Fram Filters. You can pay a little now or a lot later. Our third place finisher is standing by in the garage area with John Kernan. John?
Well, Mike, another fine run for you. It was the first weekend of the month. I half expected you to win this race after you won those other 3 on the first weekends of the month, but third place isn't bad.
Oh, we'll take third any day, John. You know, of course, the rain shortened it on us, so we never know. We might have had a chance still, but, you know, we started back there in 17th. Our car wasn't real right in the first part of the race, and we wore the left front tire real bad, and I guess it played into our favor because we come in and pitted for that second time on green earlier than everybody else, and we were able to make up a lot of track time speed-wise because we had fresh tires, and you know, FTP Brakes crew, Duran Paints, everybody just did a remarkable job. The crew, I'd like to take my hat off to the whole Barry Owens crew because got us a good stop. We come out about 8 spots ahead of what we come down pit road. And got Chrissy here this week and Lindsay and Carla here, so it was a good run for us. And just hope we get that Heilig Myers Ford Thunderbird run as well tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw her pop out of the window there. I was going to ask you who that was. How old is she?
Yeah, Chrissy's 6, and we just decided it's raining. Since they've canceled this thing under rain, we're going to go ahead and drive around the backside of the racetrack. I asked her sister if she wanted to go, and she says no, but Chris says, I'll go. So she's ready to go. She's a little hot rod.
Hey, Chrissy, how do you like your father being a famous race car driver?
Good.
She's precious, Mike. All right, Jerry?
Indeed she is, and she's got to be very, very proud of her dad, who's going to be in the race tomorrow here as we have our live coverage of the 45th Annual Mountain Dew Southern 500 coming up at 1 o'clock Eastern time. And Benny Parsons, how are they going to start?
There's Jeff Bodine. That's the picture you see on the screen. That's going to be our pole sitter, his 4th pole position of the year. Then Ken Schrader. Ward Burton is 3rd. Mark Martin will start 4th. Mark Martin will start in the 6th position. Brett Bodine will start 5th. Joe Nemechek 4th. Now we'll get back on track. Jeff Gordon is 7th. Bobby Labonte 8th. Bill Elliott is 9th. And Rick Mast will start 10th in the Mountain Dew Southern 500.
And once again, our live coverage coming your way at 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow from right here at the track that is just too tough to tame. But it was tamed today for the 3rd time in a row by Batesville, Arkansas driver Mark Martin. Mark Martin picks up his 16th career NASCAR Busch Grand National Series victory, his 10th on a super speedway. For Michael Waltrip, Kyle Petty, John Kernan, Ned Jarrett, and Benny Parsons, I'm Jerry Punch, once again congratulating Mark Martin and saying don't forget our live coverage coming your way at 1 o'clock tomorrow Eastern time. So long, everybody, from Darlington.